Good morning. I, Bhavna, Faculty, School of Finance and Commerce, Galgodias University, is going to give a presentation on the topic Women Entrepreneur. You might have heard the name of the famous successful women entrepreneurs like Indra Noori, Chanda Kochal, Shehnaz Hussain, etc. The term woman entrepreneur, it deals with that section of the women population who takes the venture into the industrial activities. It can be related with the manufacturing, assembling, job works, repairs and servicing. Women entrepreneurs have taken an initiative in promoting and running an enterprise by having the controlled interest in that particular organization. So, let us learn more about the women entrepreneur in this video. The following are the prerequisites. One should know the meaning of the term entrepreneurship. As we know that entrepreneurship is the process of designing, launching and running a new business, which is often initially a small business or it has a capacity and willingness to develop, to organize and manage a business venture along with any of its interest to make the profits. The second requisite is that we should know the different types of entrepreneurship like social entrepreneurship, culture entrepreneurship and many more entrepreneurship. Women entrepreneurship is the one of the form of the entrepreneurship which is being wholly owned by the women entrepreneurs. The following are the objectives of the study. The first objective is to introduce you to this topic of the women entrepreneur. The second objective is to make you understand the characteristics and qualities of a woman entrepreneur. The next objective is to understand what are the motivating factors for the women entrepreneur. The next objective is to understand the role of the women entrepreneur. Then we need to understand what are the problems which are faced by the women entrepreneurs. And the last objective is to get the various suggestions for the growth of the women entrepreneurs. In the recent years, even among the developing countries, women's role in the terms of their share in the small business has been increasing. Women's entrepreneur movement has taken off the ground and it's felt the movement has gained a momentum and it's in the transition period. According to a study on the women entrepreneur which is conducted by IIT Delhi, Indian women have desire and they also inspires to enter and to succeed in the fields at par with the men. But in spite of their inspirations, they are far behind than the women entrepreneurs of other countries like Japan and China. One of the main reasons for such state of affairs is that the women in India has been quoted as the second gender. That is why we have been still in the growing stage. The women entrepreneurs are running their successful entrepreneur business in the fields of entrepreneurship like retail trade, restaurants, hotels, education and insurance. According to the definition which is given by the Government of India, an enterprise which is owned, controlled by the women having a minimum financial interest of 51% of its capital and giving at least 51% employment generated to the women. We are having some more definitions which has been given with respect to the women entrepreneurs. Like J. Staple, he defines the woman who initiates, who innovates, initiate or adopt the business actively. They are termed as the women entrepreneurs. Why women become an entrepreneur? As we know that the women own one-third of the small business in the developed countries like USA and Canada. Women also make 40% of their total workforce in many Asian countries. And women have the desire and they also inspire to enter and succeed in all the fields. As we know that women consider the financial success as an external confirmation of their ability rather than their primary goal or motivation to start a business. Although millions of women entrepreneurs will grant that the financial profitability is important in its own right. When we know that men start the business, they primarily start for the growth opportunities and the profit potential, while the women most often they found the business in order to meet the personal goals, such as gaining a feeling of achievement and accomplishment. And that is why the women they want to start the new business. But the new talent pool of the women entrepreneurs is also transforming today as more and more women are adopt to opt this entrepreneurship. Based on the general concept of entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs may be defined as a woman or the group of women who initiate, organize, and run a business enterprise. The Government of India has also defined the women entrepreneur based on the women participation in equity and employment of the business venture. According to this option, the woman entrepreneur is defined as an enterprise which is owned, controlled by the women having minimum financial interest of 51% of the capital and getting at least 51% of the employment generated in an enterprise to a woman. The following are the characteristics of the woman entrepreneur. The first is courage. It takes the courage to start your own business. While everyone may have the opportunities, and it's only those who are brave enough to capitalize in these opportunities that they are able to make the profit. Being an entrepreneur offers no guarantee of the success. Therefore, it requires a certain degree of the courage. The next is vision. It's the another necessary quality of a successful woman entrepreneur. And entrepreneurs are visionary thinkers. They look outside the box. They perceive the world in the terms of what isn't rather than what is. The next is passion. Passion is that characteristic that find in just about every woman entrepreneur toolbox. The beginning stage of the business development and ownership are often very tedious. which involves a long working hours and many sleepless nights. When a business ownership is motivated and backed by the passion and real strong burning desire, then the entrepreneur doesn't perceive obstacles as the problem, but they take it as the opportunity. The next is persistence. Persistence is obviously the most important characteristic of all. Many people never stick with any one thing, which thinks that persistence is something which is displayed by those who achieve the great things, and it's the quality that can be developed over the time. Following are the qualities of the woman entrepreneur. The first quality is the positive attitude. Positive attitude takes a conscious effort on your part. To stay positive, you should have yourself surrounded by those persons who always encourage, inspires and believe in you. A positive attitude is that fuel which is needed to drive us with the idea conversion into the reality. The next one is the vision. Woman entrepreneur is the big picture person. She can see herself as a successful business. What is required to look is putting an attention to all other components. She can see her product on her shelf, her services in the action. She is not only afraid to dream big, but also view her daydreams can be achievable. The next one is autonomy. The woman entrepreneur likes to be in the control and is not afraid to take the decisions by herself. She is comfortable with being alone and have that confidence in her intelligence. She is the take care person, and the woman does not wait for some else to act and does not have the second guess on her choice. The next one is inclusive. The woman entrepreneur trusts her various types of the inner capabilities. She knows that her inner capabilities are the only ways to succeed in the field of entrepreneurship. The next one is distinguishness. The woman entrepreneur should always remind that there is nothing ordinary which she is having. She is capable of doing every type of work. In this slide, we will be understanding what is the role of a woman entrepreneur in the society. The first is employment generation. It implies that the women enterprise not only establish their enterprises but also provides the job to the others. Women entrepreneurs is about the women's position in the society and their role as the entrepreneurs in the same society. It can be understood in the two ways, namely at the individual level or at the firm level. In this way, we can say that women entrepreneurs have an important impact in the economy in the terms of their ability to create the jobs for themselves as well as for others. The second one is the economic development. It signifies that the women entrepreneurs contribute to the GDP of the country by establishing the enterprise and by providing the goods and services. Due to their entrepreneurial activities, women entrepreneurs brings the various dynamics in this market. In this way, this is also useful in increasing the national income of the country. The next is better utilization of the resources. It implies that the involvement of the women in the industrial development should ensure the effective utilization of all the available resources. The issue of the women in the industrialization process has been emphasized only in the last decades. So, women entrepreneurs generally leads to better utilization of the resources. The next is improved quality of the lives. It implies that the women entrepreneurs are now economically independent. They take their decisions independently. They are now being capable of upbringing their children according to their wish. They also provide quality education to the children and a better standard of living not only for themselves but also for the society as the whole. There are several factors which are responsible for increasing the level of the females entrepreneurship in India. The first is nature of entrepreneurship. Women enters into the entrepreneurial industry because the regular employment does not provide them with the flexibility, control and the challenges which are offered by the business ownership. The next is empowerment. Indian women are becoming more empowered nowadays. Legislation are being more progressively drafted to offer them the new opportunities at the various levels. The next is social conditions. For the women in the particular, the relatively high involvement in the necessary entrepreneurship indicates that the self-employment is the way where they can provide with the supplement family incomes and they can also improve the social conditions of the society. The next is literacy and education. The women entrepreneurs, they are generally seen that increased level of education has played a crucial role in the process of entrepreneurship. It's not only the entrepreneurs that are starting the business but also those whose education skills are also exploiting the profit opportunities. The next is multitask oriented. Women are known to be multitask oriented and due to which they are being considered to be a more important element in the process of entrepreneurship and which leads to the growth of the female entrepreneurship in India. The following are the challenges of the women entrepreneur in India. As we know that the women entrepreneur have to face with the societal stigma because in the Indian society most of the society believes that the business can be run by the male employee. The next is prevalence of unconscious biasness. There is lot of biasness in the society among the male and females. The next one is financial dependence. Financial dependence of any society depends upon the male phenomenon. The next is collateral need to secure loan as they are not having the sufficient resources to have the availability of the loans. Lack of experience in managing the business because sufficient training has not been granted to them. So they are also having the lack of target support system. They are not having the sufficient support system to run the business. The following are the suggestions for the growth of women entrepreneurs. The first is change in attitude. Promoting the entrepreneur for the women require reversal of the traditional attitude than the mere creation of the jobs for the women would. The societal change is not an overnight phenomenon. It's a gradual and a slow process. So, the change of attitude is very much required. The next is training. Training in an entrepreneurial attitude can be imparted when one should start this thing in the initial stage of the career through the well designed courses which will inspire the self confidence. Various case studies and other behavior games can be formed in the part of the curriculum. In addition to this, the practical knowledge can be also imparted regarding the financial management, cost accounting, and other legal aspects which are related to the business. The next is increase in mobility. The constraints on the mobility can be realized as the mobility contribute to rise the confidence level to an infinite level. Therefore, they should be trained and learned the various techniques of the business. Inclusion into the professional work. Efforts should be made by the government to train the women entrepreneurs and to increase their mobility, which will turn into the freestyle until the women are initiated into the independent professional work. So, they should be all initiated into the professional work to turn a successful women entrepreneurs. The last one is the self-recognition and decision-making authority. A program started by the women cannot be misused by those who are not entitled to the benefits. The women should pull out of the normal restrictive environment and they should be taught to recognize their own psychological needs and get a need of impression. Women must be motivated to involve themselves actively in the business being run in their names so that they can also become the leading entrepreneur. There are many institutions which are assisting the women entrepreneurs, like Association of Women Entrepreneurs in Karnataka, which has been established in the year 1983. The main objective of this establishment was to help the women to start up their own business. It is one of the primary institute in India which is working in the area of training and helps the women to become the entrepreneur. The basic idea of this association is to empower the women. The next association was Federation of Indian Women Entrepreneurs. This federation was founded in the year 1993 and this federation provides the network facilities to the women entrepreneurs in the country to develop their ventures. They also provide the facilities to the member association in the fields of marketing, quality control, export management and standardization. The next is self-help group. This self-help group is the voluntary association of the women in the rural and urban areas which were formed to take care of the group welfare. This group, with the help of the commercial banks and NGOs, get their needs satisfied. And each member of the group, by its bylaws, they contribute the little amount to cover the seed money. The next is Mahila Yogi Nidhi. This was introduced by SIDBI, which has been assisting the women entrepreneurs. This scheme of exclusive scheme for providing the equity and offers the development assistance for pursuing of the income generation activities to the women. They also provide the step to set up the informal channel for the credit needs on the liberal terms giving more emphasis to the women. The next one is Rashtriya Mahila Kosh. This was set in the March 30th, 1993 to facilitate the credit support to the poor women for uplifting their socio-economic status. The support has been extended through NGO, women development corporations, and they have been provided with the loan facilities to set up their business. The following are the various suggestions which need to be taken for the development of the women entrepreneurs. The first is the women should consider the specific target group for all the developments. The government should also take more initiative for providing the better educational facilities. More government schemes should be launched to motivate the women entrepreneurs in the small and large scale business ventures. More training programs should be conducted for the women entrepreneurs. And the last one is the continuous monitoring and the improvement of the training program is very essential for grooming the women entrepreneurs. And these all suggestions leads to improve the growth and development of the women entrepreneurs. At last, I will conclude that the women entrepreneurs are acting as the true entrepreneurs. They are taking every type of risk, they are managing the resources, they are accepting the challenges to gain the economic independence and which establish a strong position in the society. Let us motivate the women entrepreneurs and we should also encourage the women's entrepreneur around us. I hope that this video on women entrepreneur is very useful for understanding the concept in a better way. Thank you.